I'm delighted to present our guest, Ms. Denise Scotto. She has represented law firms, government, business, non-profit, NGOs, and individual clients. She is admitted to practice law in the courts of the states of New York and the District of Columbia and advises clients on a wide range of matters from legal analysis to advocacy strategy, policy development, conflict resolutions, the United Nations system, and cross-culture cooperation. She is known for her thought leadership in communicating complex concepts easily through her dynamic presentations. As a trial specialist, handling cases related to civil rights, labor and employment laws, and negligence. She started a career as an attorney in the office of the Cooperation Council of the City of New York. She has legal skills and management background, served the United Nations Department for Economic and Social Affairs. Her responsibilities including acting as a liaison with UN Secretariat Department, UN specializes in agencies, government and all sectors of civil society. She has taught international human rights and the courses in the rule of law as an adjunct faculty at Rampo College in New Jersey. She has served as a judge of the prestigious JSIP International Law Moot Court competition where she critiqued international law students' written memorials and oral arguments. She's also been involved in organizing and speaking at many conferences and programs in the US, China, Hungary, India, Italy, South Africa, Taiwan, and Thailand. She holds a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and a Master of Arts. Her artwork has been exhibited in group shows at the Art Student League in New York City. She is a recipient of many honors and awards. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Denise Scotto.
Most welcome, Denise. It is your own organization. We have worked before so many times, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you on platform of United Consciousness. And whole platform is yours. We are eager to listen from you about human rights and spiritual equality, advocating for justice through love. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be with you, Vikranti, and to continue the work that we have been doing. I am so honored to be with so many esteemed guests and to have this rich conference where we can really speak to our hearts. Because when we talk about the topics that everyone has been talking about, it comes back to a few different things. In my opinion, it comes back to the values that we hold, the values, the ethics, the morals that we live by. And that really comes back to our true nature and who we are and what that means. And that is that we are people who are having an experience that is beyond the physical body, where we are connected to that divine creator of one who creates everything around us and everything, from nature to our resources, to our animal companions, and to understanding that we play an important part in the cosmos and in the planet, our planet Earth, in our country, in our societies, and in our own families, and ultimately in our own life. When we talk about human rights, for me, the underpinning of human rights is about human dignity, that each and every person, as we know from some of the UN documents that are over 75 years old, for example, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that we are born as humans free and equal in dignity and in rights. This is really a very profound statement that you and I, no matter what language we speak, what religion we may practice, what kind of educational background we have, what kind of employment situation, whether we're employed, we're self-employed, whether we're working part-time, whether we're working in an informal economy, whether we're not working for whatever reason, whether we're caretaking, when we're working to give care to younger people, to older family members, to disabled members of our societies. Whatever that looks like, we are all the same in terms of being part of the human family and part of our cosmos. And it goes back to this concept of dignity and how we are, because of our very beingness, we are worthy of living life and of growing to our best potentiality. Now, at the same time, my understanding of having personal responsibility is about also working through life, living through life, being one with everyone and everything. And what does that look like? That goes back to values again. And to me, that are those are values that we can find in many world religions. We can find them in ethical principles. We can find them in the Charter of the United Nations and in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And some of these are the underlying values of yoga. I would agree that all of them are a part of the underlying values of yoga and the beautiful ancient philosophy that has been handed down for years and years and years. And we know that yoga means union. And one of the greatest values that we can live and try to live is the value of unity, of being in unity with each and every person on this planet and each and everything, to acknowledge that we come from the same creative source, that source of life, the source that is the ultimate creative aspect of everyone and everything. So, some of these values that I'm talking about are spiritual values. So, unity, dignity, as I've already talked about, respect, respect for all life, respect for someone who has a different opinion from you. We may not agree about things. I may think very differently than you do based on our experiences, based on our education, based on our understanding of language and the way we speak. But if we can agree to disagree, we can be respectful of one another. We can value one another. And this value is about including one another and saying, yes, we may have disagreements, but we're part of the human family and we all belong. And we may have differences of opinions and see things differently. But at the end of the day, I'm going to accept that person, or I'm going to, in some cases, tolerate that person or those beliefs or those understandings because I value and respect the dignity and the unity that we share as one human family. Another way to look at things also is how can I be living these values of my faith or the values that I believe of a philosophy or a code of ethics that I live by? Because there are many people who may not have a particular religion. People say, I'm a spiritual person. You know, I believe in the golden rule. I believe treat others as I want to be treated. Or, you know, I don't believe I've had a lot from my upbringing. I don't believe in a particular religion, but I believe in love and I believe in kindness and I believe in the will to do good, right? That there is goodness in the world and I can do good. So, all of these things, in my opinion, is about having these underlying values that we as human beings can walk through and live through and be each and every moment and each and every day. And when we talk about this, it really is so linked to peace because to me, it's about how can we be compassionate? How can we be kind? And that's about being peaceful. It's not about being violent. It's not about being aggressive. It's not about being competitive. It's being collaborative. And again, it's about being joining together this unity and really about being kind. And I think sometimes this is what's really missing, that opportunity to be kind. So peace is a very big thing. We know that the United Nations, one of its mandates is to secure peace and human security. And I would go so far as to say also promoting peace and a culture of peace and a culture of nonviolence. Just the other day, 21 September, we celebrated World Peace Day, which the UN passed a resolution over 40 years ago marking Peace Day, something for all communities around the world to gather together. And 20 years ago, they modified or changed that resolution, and they actually added in that resolution for everyone to celebrate Peace Day by taking one moment of silence to acknowledge those people who are living in the state of armed conflict or in places of war. And a lot of us broaden that. There's so much suffering in this world today, be it in one way or another. It could be someone who's a victim of human trafficking. It could be someone who's a victim of domestic violence. It could be someone who has no food and is living in poverty and is trying to figure out, how can I get food for my young kids? There are so many ways that people are suffering. And even in our own daily life, we have our own ways of feeling that we're suffering and that we're in pain or weary, we're being we're feeling hurt, or we see our family members feeling hurt. So if we take this minute of silence, we can join with our whole human family around the world in solidarity, and we can anchor peace and healing. And that is really the beauty, I think, of the International Day of Peace. Everyone can find the way to celebrate that. So when we talk about human rights and spiritual values, to me, it's a much broader concept. It's about how can we be the change that we want to see in the world, acknowledging that we're powerful beings. We're powerful because we have the capacity to use our reason, to use our conscience, to use our thoughts to create the kind of world that we want, and then to take action. I loved hearing the panel who were speaking before me, because part of that really resonated with me. And it was about how people sometimes are so alone and isolated. If there is a sense of belonging, we become even more powerful. If we really feel that we belong to the human family, or that we're part of something greater, then we really feel that we can contribute and that we make a difference. And no matter what we do, if we take some action, and if we take action together, we can be such positive forces for change in the world. And that's about protecting each and every one of us. And that's about protecting and safeguarding our human rights. What are some human rights? I think that a lot of them go on human needs. The right for universal education, the right for universal health care, to get medical treatment, to get medical diagnoses, to be able to have that kind of treatment so that we can become well again, or we can prevent certain diseases from coming, to have shelter, to have a house, to feel secure in that place, to feel that no one is going to come, break down the door, and all of a sudden something bad is going to happen. We're talking about also education and primary education, because we know that education is such a huge change maker in so many people's lives. I know for me, both of my sets of parents come from other countries than the United States. Having the education that I've had and the value that my family placed on education has made all the difference in the world, not only to me, but to my extended family as well. So even the education of peace education, or the education of understanding the values that we have as one family and the values of human rights and fundamental freedoms, is so important. I believe in the concept of universal responsibility. We may have human rights, but we also have responsibility as individuals. I truly feel that I have a responsibility to take care of my family, my older mom, the animals that I have that are walking the life with me, my animal companions, that we have a responsibility greater than that, beyond my family, in my community, in my society. I do believe that I'm not just a being here where I live, but more of a planetary being, and that what I think and what I do matters. Because in the greater scheme of the cosmos, each and every intention and every action is counted. And each and every action that we have toward being peaceful, being toward being more kind, anything that is being toward helping the greater good, I believe, is gathered with all of those who are doing that, who are being more positive to really make a change, to anchor more peace, more healing, and to create a better world that we all so much really want. You know, I've come across people in my work when I was working as a staff person in the UN who I do not agree with in their approach or their way to create a better world. Some of them are considered non state actors or terrorist groups or part of groups that used a lot of violence. And when I had spoken with them or when they were trying to speak with me, I was keeping an open mind to hear what they said. And I would say that 99.9% of them wanted the same things that I wanted: my family to feel well, my family to have a better life, to be able to have food, to be able to have an education, to be able to really feel powerful in the world in the sense that they could live a comfortable life and that they could also have fun and enjoy life with other people. So we have not seen the same way, the same path, but some of their intention is the same intention, because at the end of the day, we're part of the human family. I don't know if my remarks have touched you at all or have made sense, but I think that sometimes we complicate this idea of what human rights really is about. And I would say that in order to understand it, it goes back to human dignity, and it goes back to the values that the majority of us live by. So I want to just acknowledge again how all of us on this call who are involved with United Consciousness and many of the yoga groups and communities that we're involved with really are, I think, contributing to creating a better world, a more harmonious and a more nonviolent world by the thoughts that we take and by the actions that we take, even if we're just smiling at someone that we may be passing on the street, even if we just hold a door open for someone who is coming behind us. So it's these little things, I think, that really add up, and that we and I need to remind myself at times that these are powerful in and of themselves. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, or to engage in any kind of dialogue with you, Vikranti, and hope that we've been able to have a strong way for people to understand the United Nations a little bit more and what the concept of human rights is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis ji. I think you did absolute justice with bringing the concept of human right in simple terms to everybody. And you really mentioned that Universal Declaration of Human Rights tells us that we are born free and equal in dignity and rights. And you also mentioned about UN Charter is so much closely connected with the values of yoga. Yoga stands for union, union stands for unity, and this is what United Consciousness also stands for. Our mission statement is one consciousness, one being. We appreciate diversity, as you rightly mentioned, that you may disagree with people, but let's agree to disagree. It reminds me of what Voltaire once said, that though I may disagree with what you are saying, but I can fight till my death for your right of saying it. It is okay. So you beautifully quoted about it. You mentioned about importance of unity, dignity, respect, not only in general, but in specific for all lives, for all difference of opinions. You told the importance of being more inclusive, acceptance, and this is together what you mentioned is promoting the culture of peace, living it. And you said that a big percentage of population, growing population, is increasing, who don't believe in religion, but they believe in humanity. They believe in that treat others as I want to be treated. And so it reminds me of somebody I met in France, and he said that humanity is my religion and goodness is my God. So that can be well understood. And I think what you mentioned is very important, that take one moment of silence and think about the people who are suffering in different parts of the planet. And this is what makes us human. Human have that ability to think about others, and we coexist. And you said that be the change that you want to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation in India, always followed in his life. And the sense of belonging makes us more responsible. And one of the best things about your speech I liked, you did not stop yourself at human rights. You are a very strong advocate of universal responsibilities. And I think me personally can't agree more than this, that yes, when everybody of us fulfill our responsibilities towards everybody of others, then certainly their rights will be protected. And you said that we are planetary beings. And this is what spirituality also says, that we are not human beings having spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having human experience. Dennis ji, what a fantastic talk. And you touched a very core subject in such simple words. It was very inspiring. We keep on coming to you to get more inspired. And thank you to always being there to guide us in this movement of united consciousness. Thank you, Denise ji.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti. May there be peace.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Denise Scotto for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness.